One guy found that the relationship to the strength of contraction, in other words, this kind of trip, depends on the tightness of the fascia around that muscle. So you're stronger when the fascia is tighter in this kind of measure of strength. When it's loose, you're not as strong.
That is a magnificent paper. That is one of the best contribution that's ever been made by somebody to this work, I think.
Namely, that when you go, you work with the superficial fascia, you are changing the tonus of the entire fascial web.
In other words, we see that any man in his emotional crises is responding not to the emotion which he thinks is driving him, but to chemical and physiological changes going on inside his skin. You all know that there is a pain of stretching fascia, but you also know that if you get on a vertebra which is badly distorted, there is a pain which is not that pain at all. It's a sick pain. And I think this can just as likely be a report from fascia.
This connects too with the, like sometimes when you're working in certain regions, you'll get a radiation of feeling, of burning, that's far removed from the point of contact.
The thing that impresses me most about what you've done for me is the way you've changed my skin from cotton to silk.
And one fiber gets stuck to the other, and another third gets stuck to the second. And as this happens, fluid enters in and can't get out again. And so you have this whole mass of stuck something with the fluid trapped in it.
The tissue is a major stabilizing organ of the body. Disturbances in this basic tissue affect mechanical functioning, physiology, and therefore the emotional stability of an individual. This tissue appears to record the history of trauma along with the passage of time by its position, plasticity, and texture. And that
You've got to get, the problem is that you are evaluating in terms of the orthodox evaluations. And what I'm trying to do is to change the ways of looking at bodies.
There are pictures of what happens when you put a hypodermic needle filled with air into a fascial area and inject that air. And what happens is that fascia loses its resilience. It becomes hard, it becomes tough, it becomes nut-like, solid nut-like.
And the only thing I can be relatively sure of is the fact that what you are feeling is the fact that fascial plane can slide on fascial plane. That's the only thing I can be really readily assume. And that as you get fascial plane sliding on fascial plane and the absence of interference, you begin to feel what Don is talking about.